wherever it makes you feel comfortable.
Carol, you're just going to re-announce that we did open open session. Yep.
6 feet's good.
Darlene, you want to? We look all 6 feet apart. Yep. We haven't, we're not there yet, so you gotta.
Number 5.
Remember when you speak, use your.
Okay, today is December 17th, and this is the Village of Vernon Village Board meeting. We did call the Village Board meeting to order and went into open session at 6 o'clock. Went into closed session at shortly after 6 o'clock. We've reconvened in open session, had a short recess here, and so we are back in session at 10 after 7. And we are on item 6, public comments in our agenda. So we're, I know if there's public to give comments, I think this is, Johnson has raised your hand, so you're up first. So please state your name and address for our records.
My name is Supervisor Darlene Johnson, Waukesha County Supervisor of the 25th District. I live in McGuanago, 621 Small Farm Road in McGuanago. But I'm basically coming here to thank the board and have a little speech prepared. Thank you to the Vernon Village President, Fortner, Village Board Trustees, Clerk Treasurer Shu, Fire Chief Feld, and Assistant Fire Chief Hayes. Today I am speaking to this board regarding the County Trunk Highway ES Fox River Bridge. All of you have been so vital in assisting to make the bridge redecking project a success. This was 4 years in the making, where Waukesha County Public Works engineers were working with me and municipalities to have the bridge stay open during the entire project. As you know, there were several delays due to the 2018 swallow birds nesting underneath the bridge girders, the 2019 postponement due to rebidding costs doubled the expected amount, and this year the 2020's bid came in even more than last year's bid. I received the bid news in late February, which was before the COVID virus, and was told that Waukesha County Public Works wanted to save costs by choosing a bid including the closing of the bridge during the entire redecking project. I worked with County Works Director Bustler in coordination with these 3 municipalities, your town, which is now Village of Vernon, Town of McGuanago, and Village of McGuanago, to request that their boards allocate combined collections of $30,000 toward their contributions. I was so proud as your county supervisor for the 25th district that all 3 boards voted unanimously to approve their ordinances. This important collaboration helped persuade the county board to support keeping the bridge open from August 11th until just recently November 11th. During the redecking, yes, there was a speed reduction, slowdowns and traffic congestion, but I did not hear many complaints, especially since the temporary bridge traffic lights worked so well. Recently, on Tuesday, December 1st, I received an email update from the county senior bridge engineer, Yanni, and he was unable to provide final project costs at this time. The project team and various subcontractors were still reviewing quantities and preparing construction pay estimates. Mr. Yanni did say that the project finished just within contract time, and he anticipated the project finish was over budget. And Engineer Yanni said that once the previous deck overlay was removed, the amount of deck repair needed was greater than anticipated during the project design. And again now, as your 25th District Waukesha County Supervisor, I want to thank all of you for your assistance in the effort to complete this ES Fox River Bridge project. And it was a absolutely positive, wonderful outcome, and a win-win for everybody. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor
If you
Johnson.
want, I have a copy of this that I could give to the clerk, if that'd be all right.
Sure.
I tried to
Absolutely.
email, but I was having problems with it, so. Yes,
Merry Christmas.
I can't distribute, but I didn't think that'd be so good right now in the meeting, so. I owe you guys some.
Thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for the kind words, and I'm glad that bridge decking is done, and came in a little over budget, but not horribly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Other public comments? Okay, no other public comments. We will go to, all right, I didn't see you raise your hand. So please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Bo Byer, 8226 8 Mile Road, Frankston, Wisconsin. Tonight I'm speaking on behalf of myself and the other DPW workers. You ready?
Yep.
I'd like to start by addressing the fact that the Village of Vernon is denying paychecks to myself and 3 other employees for being home due to COVID. In a letter from the attorney the village hired, it states facts that are not accurate about the employees. I'd like to provide the board with documentation that myself and one of these employees were directed by our boss to stay home for 2 weeks. Now, that should be enough information to show we'd be paid for this time off we were directed to be off, but because that is not the case, I would like further mention that all 4 of these employees that stayed home due to COVID or close contact were all caring for children during this time, which is the FFCRA law states in sections 2 and 4. They have been advised by healthcare providers to self-quarantine related to COVID-19 or are caring for individuals subject to the order in section 2. Myself and the other employees were never asked to provide any further documentation. I have the appropriate documentation, and I'm sure my coworkers have it as well to indicate that we were directed by either the health department or the healthcare provider to stay home, as well as our employer. Furthermore, we would like this matter revisited as per direction from Carl Fortner, who wrote, and I quote, "If the facts as presented to Attorney Marsack are incorrect or incomplete, then this matter should be revisited. The DPW workers would like you to revisit this matter per the misrepresentation of facts to the attorney. Had anyone asked us to provide additional facts to the attorney, we would have gladly done so. I would further like to state my disappointment in the board for not opting to pay their employees, which is money already budgeted for the year, and instead pay an attorney who misrepresented the facts of these employees. We expect a steady paycheck, and we expect to be paid, especially when we are directed to stay at home for 2 weeks. Because of the negligence in paying us, our families are not having the Christmas they would otherwise be having. The board is also setting a precedence for future illness expectations. So next time one of us or our family tests positive, we should not follow CDC guidelines and come to work and infect everyone. Then what will happen when all of us cannot work? So we are essentially being punished for following CDC guidelines and health department recommendations and medical professionals. Waukesha County had around 480 incidents and has not denied any wages according to their HR department. Last point on COVID-19 I would like to address is the other municipalities have come up with a COVID-19 plan for their employees. Vernon has not. So we are unsure how you can just make the rules up as you go here. Right now, we are experiencing financial hardship due to medical bills, paying for our own COVID-19 testing, and etc. How would you feel if you were doing the right thing and then you were told after the fact, too bad, you're not getting paid, even though you were directed to stay home by your employer? Right now, our morale is strongly affected due to all of this, but we are still expected to show up even on days off to plow. We do twice the work of surrounding municipalities with only one crew, and will continue to do so. But understand the retention has not been high here in the town of Vernon for DPW employees. We deserve a workplace where we feel valued and appreciated. Right now, that is not the case. My final point is that the DPW collaborated to bring forth to you a letter urging you to consider vacation time, comp time, personal and sick time. We are disheartened that the board does not provide us feedback or ask to speak with us in regards to our concerns. We have a solid crew here that works well together, rises to challenges, and does so with integrity and diligence. We do not want to, we don't want to see this crew leave for more profitable endeavors, so we would appreciate if you took the time to address our concerns sooner rather than later. We would also like our comments entered in for the record.
Thank you, sir. And I did take notes. It is not on the agenda, so we can't respond, so please, yeah. No, it is not. Further public comments. I did take notes, so we will address it as quickly as we can. Maybe not at a meeting, but I have talked to your DPW Director, John. But any other comments? Members? Okay. Oh, sir. Name and address.
Steve Lawrence, West 250, South 8875, Center Drive, right over here across from the soccer field. I moved out here like 5 years ago for two reasons mainly. Quality of life and the cost of living. And I really appreciate what you guys do to keep our taxes low. I mean, that's golden. But I also appreciate what these guys do to make the village of Vernon what it is. I mean, if we can't hire good people and retain them, then these parks that we have and our roads and everything are going to show that. I just think I've worked for a city for 27 years, and I work closely with their Department of Public Works. And like I said, I'm retired, and I use all the green space in the village of Vernon. And I see these guys out working all the time. And when they start a job, they finish it, it's good, and they're done, and they move to the next thing. And I know they lost a couple of guys that had been here a while, so they lost some experience. But as a village, we got a pretty good crew, I think, that takes care of our village and keeps it looking good. And I think we should not take too much meat off the bone. We should keep this good young crew that we have. That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Further public comments? Anyone else? Okay, we will go to the agenda. Item 7A, recommendation to the Waukesha County Sheriff Department for the Village of Vernon lead deputy and alternate lead deputy. We do have Inspector Esser in the audience, and we came out of closed session and interviewed two candidates. I would like to thank the Waukesha Sheriff's Department for sending us two, in my view, two excellent candidates that are highly qualified to take on these roles. And for me, it's a difficult decision, but we do need to make a recommendation to the Sheriff's Department. So I'd be interested in motion. We've got Mr. Trustee Slani raising his hand, so.
Yeah, for discussion purposes, specifically, I'd like to make a motion that we select Deputy Ward Hollingsworth as our primary officer.
So, we're going to, can I change it just slightly? Recommend to the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department, lead deputy, lead deputy Ward Hollingsworth.
Yes.
Okay.
What I thought I said.
Okay. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Mahalik. Discussion. Again, I kind of let it off.
I concur that both candidates were excellent, and I'm certain that both could handle the job very nicely. Obviously, I lean towards Deputy Hollingsworth because of his experience within the town. He knows the area, he knows the people, he's been doing it for the last 4 years, anyhow. So, he would be my first choice.
The reason for my second is exactly what Trustee Slani had to say. I had an encounter with him, not because of citation, but because of business. And I found him to be extremely professional and informative. And that type of interaction goes a long way in any type of social interaction they may have with any of our residents. And I think his familiarity with the area is a strong point. So that's why I made it second. Thank you.
Trustee Wilding?
Yeah, I agree also. I believe the deputy's been out here for approximately 4 years, and the residents already have some familiarity with him. And also, he is extremely familiar with the area and the areas that are a concern to the residents. I think he'd be a good fit for the village.
Trustee Dashik?
I agree. I agree with everything that has been said so far. He seems like he'll make a great fit for our village.
Okay, so let's have a vote on the lead deputy, and then we'll entertain a motion for the alternate lead deputy. So all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So I will make the motion to recommend to the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department that our alternative lead deputy will be Ken Mulholland, Deputy Ken Mulholland. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Slani. Discussion. Yeah, we have a contract that we get 5 days, and people are entitled to their vacation, their sick days, and so on. And our contract is that we get a replacement for those days that are, he's, you know, taking a sick day or PTO days, and it will be our alternate. Well, Inspector and Assessor is here, you can come up and we can answer that question specifically. If I misstated something, please correct
Be
me.
clear, I'm not against him. I just don't know if we're doing the right thing.
I guess I don't understand the question.
I thought that there was going to be somebody where that person came from. I don't know. Okay, but I didn't think that would be Deputy Mulholland. Okay, it doesn't make any difference if it is. But if that's what we are talking about, that it would be him, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, and to expand on what President Fortner said, is really it's to give the village as much control, communication, balance of expectations with services provided. Because if you end up getting the off days, the vacation, you know, let's just say it equates to, I don't know, a month of the year, you know, when it's added up, you end up losing quite a bit of knowledge in that backfill, right? If we're pulling people randomly to fill it, you might get one person for a week and then not see them again for 8 months. By having the backup between Ward and Ken, it allows for them to communicate. So on, you know, if Ward's going to be gone for a week and out of town, you can set Ken up for that week on what you guys are looking for, carry on with follow-up that needs to be done. It just really provides a much better continuity of services.
I have no problem with that.
And really, as far as being impactful on our sheriff's office, I would say it has very little impact because, again, we'd rather have people down here that want to work down here and are excited to be here.
Was it, did they have both the understanding that one would be primary and one would be secondary, or whatever term you want to use?
Yeah, they both know it's a possibility. At the end of the day, again, to the president's point, the sheriff ultimately, you know, could decide he wants to do something different, but a lot of times the sheriff will defer to his admin, command staff on decisions like this.
That's fine.
And I think they both kind of hope that they're going to end up as a backup if they don't get primary.
Okay. That's what I was concerned about, not either individual or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I just wanted to point out that I not only liked, but I agreed with what Ken had said originally, that he felt that any of your other deputies could fill this spot very nicely for us. That's why, you know, I kind of feel comfortable, a little more comfortable, recommending Ken, because we got to talk with him and get a sense for his personality and how he would fit in.
I agree. We got to meet him, and that was a good thing.
Aye.
I live in Mugwanago, 1006 River Park Circle, West Apartment 108. Yes, that would be the last one.
Mr. President, if I may, I just wanted to indicate to the board that Ms. Otto has presented all her information and did the background check. She has her certification, she's paid all her fees. So I just wanted to let the board know that administratively, everything is done properly.
I did hold one for McGuanago, probably from 2010 up until last year. He didn't renew it because I didn't go back after the pandemic shutdown.
No questions. I'd make a motion to approve bartender's license for Azado.
I'd second that.
Aye. What do we do about the previous lady? Do we table that until she can come in? Okay, very good.
Mr. President, board members, Ms. Higgins has obviously paid all her fees. All her paperwork is in, certification is in. She's been an experienced licensed bartender and at the Vernon Lutheran Church and never had any problem, and a very good role model for everyone.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Aye.
Yes, everything that, all the salary positions are in as indicated with the budget. We just got the fire department salaries this afternoon. But the chief, both the chiefs, when I spoke to them, know full well that their proposals fit within their budget. But when I put this together, I did not have this information at the time, and both, I know Chief Feldy is willing to come down and speak with you, but I have to call him, and he's gonna have to drive in. If you have any questions in regards to what he's proposing. And Mr. President, what I'm providing to the board now is, it's a typical timesheet which you all are very familiar looking at. And you can see the categories right now are handwritten on what their current rate of pay is as it relates to paramedics, EMTs, and our in-training staff members. And what the chief, both the chiefs have put together is where you see their hourly wages. And then based upon if they're a paramedic or firefighter, then the positions, the stipends go into effect for the position that they, the POS and the PPS, you'll see how they correlate to day, evening, and weekends. And there is a substantial increase in the weekend category, but there again is where they're having their most issues in retaining paramedics, which the fire department prides itself on providing extremely well advanced life support. But the chief or the chief LD or Chief Hayes would be much more well-versed in explaining the increase and why it's needed. Right.
Pretty expensive.
So do you want me to have him come down?
From my perspective, I don't know how much more he'd be able to provide,
Yeah.
unless I'm missing something.
And yeah,
Why didn't we have this information when we were doing the budget in the first place?
I can't answer that question.
I think, Jim, because we didn't give him any idea what kind of money we were gonna put in the budget. So this is after the fact. He's establishing pay rates, I think, for his people after he knew how much money he was gonna get. I think isn't that part of what?
And I think the board clearly stated to him when you indicated what you were going to give for the wages. I know there was a clear understanding from the board and a clear understanding from the chief on the wage category that whatever his wages were proposed, he had to stay within budget. There is some ambiguity as it relates to the reimbursement, and that's something you can always revisit a resolution after you speak with him also. The chief also indicated that if there was some type of shared service agreement with another community where more revenue was gained, he would have to make an adjustment, and I explained to him what would happen is the chief would come to the board, you'd discuss it, and then you can always adopt a different resolution based on the changes to the budget and what service is provided. But this is his proposal for the here and now for the next payroll in January.
Is this in our budget?
Well, yes. Yeah, and the chief indicated these numbers. That's what it took both chiefs long enough to do the math on what they felt, how they could stay within the budget and apply the wages to the needed area. I mean, they're all needed, but obviously, I'm not downplaying anybody's positions, but the paramedics are provide a service that the other categories cannot do. Mr. President, board members, the chief just indicated he'd like to come down and speak to you. So he asked if you could move to the next resolution, and he'd like to come and actually address this with you and he's much better speaking in his department than I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. The actual cost. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Elaborate? Yes. What I wanted, and on page 4 of 6, I wanted to ask the board, I have no problem with the commercial kennel license is $35, but I just wanted to ask the board's opinion on a hobby kennel license, which is much smaller and a whole different operation. It's $25 for the renewal. Just wanted to ask your opinion. I think that's a little bit high if you're asking $35 for a commercial license, but obviously it's your call. Some of our people only have 3 dogs, but just wanted your opinion. The application for new all stays the same. The board lowered that substantially, and there's no legal or planning fees related to that now, which helps substantially. But just wanted the board, you don't have to change it, but I just wanted your opinion. A board decision and your discussion, whatever you feel is appropriate. But I just thought if you're, a commercial hobby kennel license, commercial license is totally different than a little hobby kennel license, but just wanted your opinion. Yes.
Yeah, I would have no exception to that, the 15. But I would ask the clerk if the 15 is fair and reasonable for the process.
Absolutely.
All right, the 15 to me would be fine. And I would make that motion if that was something that needed to be done. Sure, okay.
Well, what triggers the fact they need the hobby license?
If they have more than 2 dogs.
More than 2.
Yes. Yeah, and at some point, I know the board wanted to revisit again the issue of maybe looking at allowing people to have 3 dogs and then a hobby kennel license. And I know the board after the holidays wanted and talk about that again, and it is on the staff agenda. I know Supervisor Lorene Dashik, excuse me, trustee. Oh, boy, I'm Lorene Dashik would like to, and we did do a survey, and Vernon is very, very restrictive on the amounts of dogs.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And then what qualifies as a commercial license?
It's more breeding and retail and housing of dogs. It's a total different than hobby kennel is just having a few extra dogs. Where a commercial, they're selling, they're breeding and selling and housing, and it's a business. It's really yeah. So it's treated totally different. It's a conditional use. It's a total different than the little public hearing for the hobby kennel license. But
Plus, doesn't a commercial license have to come before the plan commission in regard to
they all do.
conditional use?
Yeah, it's a condition. It's in the zoning category. Yeah.
It's a little more.
But they all come before, just so the public knows, even hobby kennels come before the plan commission. But they don't have the legal fees. And before there were legal and planning, and it was extremely. I know, once again, trustee Lorene Dashik can attest to the fact that one property owner had over $600 worth of planning and legal. So
Just
for a hobby kennel license.
For
For a hobby kennel. So now, I mean, if there was something extensive, I'm sure the president would say this needs professional, if there's something outstanding, but normally these are just, a couple or an individual that loves animals and has three
family dog.
Right. Or dogs, or we have a lot of people in Vernon that do rescues too. A lot of rescues, which is nice.
Address it.
Right, and yes. Well, I mean, they're automatically renewed. The hobby kennel licenses are automatically renewed, but this board has seen more issues than one with people that have one animal than you have seen with people that have multiple. Because I'll be honest, I know people that have more than two dogs, but I'm not a dog police. If they come in and license them, then I have to tell them, you have to follow the law. So, but I just, like I said, I just wanted the board's opinion, because I just thought it was a little high. No, I just wanted to make sure that we clarified the single-family home, that instead of the 350, that's 400, and the only reason is we have a lot of single-family homes coming in, and that one, just so the board knows, I watch what we are charged from our planning and zoning department as it relates to single-family homes, decks, pools, additions, and we are not losing money. We're not making money, but we're not losing. The town, the village, boy, I'm going to be broke. The village is not losing money on any of those. We don't want to make money. But those are all, the only ones, like I said, is the fire department. I'd like you to, ask the chief. But the chief and Chip Kramer, our representative that you all met, they went through every portion of the fee schedule to make sure that it is in line to what the services are actually provided. And the zombie run we just took off because we haven't had a zombie run in years, so. That's just a cosmetic thing. And too, I just wanted to let the board know, as of January 1st, Tammy has changed all the applications that will show the true planner cost chargeback engineering, just so the residents, anybody, or anyone that's applying for plan commission can see what the fees will increase to as of the first of the year.
I saw this a zombie run.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, without going into a lot of detail?
Well, that used to be an event that the Park and Rec Department did at Halloween. It was like a what do you call those? Obstacle course. It was real popular, but you couldn't even do it now anyway, so we just took it off.
Fine.
So the only thing that's left, if that's fine. I don't know why that, yep. Those are fine. They get, yeah. Yeah, that covers it. And just so you know, that yeah. And if there is something above and beyond, and the zoning, Sean lets me know right away, and then we have the builder, the property owner, do the professional reimbursement, because it usually entitles engineering, which is extremely expensive. Right. So Vernon residents aren't subsidizing any of those applications, and that's what the board wants, is a fair fee. Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Got it.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm not sure. We have not officially heard, we've been back and forth. It's been very frustrating from the standpoint that I thought we were going in one direction. I thought we had a very workable solution to help both communities. I don't know what their philosophy is or what their methodology is at the village of Waukesha. Obviously, Chief Buchholz had explained to me that they had, I believe, given them an $8,000 pay decrease as part of his budget, which I'm not sure exactly how or why that would come to be, considering I believe they're $240,000 over this year in their salaries. So I'm not really sure. This was I think a good cost sharing venture that was going to kind of equalize the amount of resources we give them versus what they give us. I think it was fair and equitable. We've had several meetings between ourselves and them, with myself and Mr. President, and it just I don't know. It's just we just haven't been able to get a firm answer either way, and that's very frustrating. The other component of this is that we're trying to be as competitive as we can with surrounding fire departments that are paying more than we are, and people are a commodity right now. They have been for several years. It's going to get worse as the future moves forward. So if we don't offer a competitive wage, we've got 3 employees right now that are kind of hanging on to see what happens. That if we aren't competitive with the neighbor, they're going somewhere else, which puts a large burden on the rest of our people and our department to provide service. That we can accomplish by making or having an attractive wage for them. We're trying to work it out. We're trying to figure out. We've been pretty much mashing numbers for the last month on this, right? And trying to become as competitive as we can with our neighbors like Maguanago. And that's how we've come to these numbers. We know we're a little bit short, but we're anticipating some increases in our revenues. We revisited the fee structure for 21, which you should have seen, which will have somewhat of an increase for our billing company. Yep. We anticipate that we're going to
obviously figure some type of mechanism for billing for our ALS services with the Village of Waukesha. As I sit here tonight, I can't tell you what that is, but I know that it's going to be something. Our goal is that we're going to be able to close that gap of a little bit of where we know we are for what we have budgeted. The other wild card is the Village of Big Bend. We had talked about potentially providing a contract which would provide us with some additional funding to provide, I think, a phenomenal level of service to both communities, equal to any other career department in Waukesha County. So,
potential contracts.
right.
Because we
don't
put
know.
in budget something that wasn't said, and we felt that the salaries we could, the Waukesha fell through, you could, I mean, I think you stated that you work it out and we'll have to readjust the salaries to make sure it's, but it's still fit within the numbers, just like the contract with Big Bend, we thought we could work within the existing numbers, and I think we'd have to revisit the detail, if you will, at some point once these contracts become yea or nay.
And I guess we wouldn't have known we were a little bit above, but we did that last year, and we were pretty much in the ballpark. There's a couple caveats on how many different incidents occur that are larger in nature, weather events, things like that do impact some of our hauling people back. But again, we're able to provide a very effective level of service for a very reasonable amount of money. The alternative to this is if we can't maintain people, is you have to look at hiring full-time employees. And we know what those costs are. To have a comparable department, full-time employees like we have today is $2 million. So, spending a little bit more money this year, and hopefully next year, gradually, as we talked about over the last, 5 years, trying to increase things, we've been able to get us a little bit more competitive with our neighbors. Village of Mugwanago, or Mugwanago Fire, is offering $17.75 an hour for a paramedic, or $18.75 if you have critical care endorsement. We don't do any facility transports, so that's not really on our radar, so to speak. But $18 an hour is a simple number math, and keeps us just a little bit above them for being competitive for a paramedic. You'll also, and I don't know, we didn't bring it up, but we also have looked to downsize from 3 paramedics at night potentially that we budget for down to 2. So kind of a little bit of cost savings there. But again, our goal is that we have reliable service that when the tones go off or the bell goes off, you have professional, competent people coming to your emergency very quickly. And I think we do a very good job of that. Last Saturday, we had 2 simultaneous calls, one for cardiac arrest and one for severe difficulty breathing, and we handled both of those with our resources. And so we're able to take care of our own sandbox, so to speak. I think that moving into 2021, our goal is going to be to generate some additional revenue to offset that. How we get to that with the Village of Waukesha is still a little bit of a process in play. But that's our goal. We also understand that if we have to, we can always make some adjustments to the budget at the midway point of next year if we have to in terms of staffing. So that was kind of our conceptual idea going with this, is that we can hopefully retain the employees we have that are good employees, and also attract some employees that will come to us instead of going somewhere else.
I'm kind of dismayed with the Village of Waukesha and this disparity of services, okay, that's going on. Do you have any gut feeling or any hints as to what's the speed bump there?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate because I don't know.
I wonder, I saw in the paper that one of the board members is challenging the president of their board. I just wonder if the political situation is so in flux right now, nobody wants to make a decision.
Well, I think that might be some of it. I know I know from what I've talked with and follow, obviously, I live in the town of Waukesha, or village of Waukesha. They are expending no capital funds next year. They are not doing any type of building project. They have no sleeping quarters for the fire department. They have been very stagnant in their attitude, I guess I would say. And one of the proposals that we've thrown out there is that we'll provide an ALS public transportation and then get the billing revenue. So that may be a way that, we can recoup some of those costs, which is kind of I guess a zero impact to their budget in terms of expenses.
Because aren't they kind of living off of our operating budget in a manner indirectly? By us going out there and doing what we're doing?
I don't know if they're living off of our stuff, but I think that when we originally had the original agreements, it wasn't as frequent as it was today. And that's just because like every area, your increase in services are going up. People are moving into the area. There's more construction, subdivisions, things like that coming in, traffic. All those things create more calls for service. And we've been fortunate that we've been very proactive in having 5 people here 24/7.
Would it be appropriate to revisit the agreement? Since there's such a disparity as what we provide to them versus what they're
We don't
providing.
have one.
We don't really, it's a handshake agreement between the 2 chairmen.
Yeah.
And I think that, and again, I don't want to speak out of turn, boss, but we've had some of those discussions with them. They understand that there's something coming. Again, it's one of those things that, you don't get feedback from someone. It's hard to, just like we're trying to anticipate what some of our revenues are going to be for next year, because that helps offset some of our staffing, because we need people to do the calls, and if you don't do the calls, you don't generate the revenue. So it's kind of a vicious circle.
Chief,
Yes.
assuming if we get contracts with both Big Bend and Waukesha, the contract's going to pay for itself, basically. So, does your numbers here, that would just pay for it without those contracts? Your contract, we can cover our costs with your numbers that you have here.
We're I guess,
You're saying with the budget that we have right now, the numbers that we submitted today, that's for running our department next year.
we're,
I'll do one of those contracts.
right, but we're hinging that on not having contracts per se, but at least increasing some of our revenue by some fee increases, some non-resident stuff that's going up, some mileage increases, things like that will generate some more revenue that will offset some of our wages. And then obviously, we will probably realize that we'll be doing some more transports with the village of Waukesha that we'll be billing for. So I think one of the conceptual ideas we talked about was, again, providing an ALS service with an ambulance versus an intercept vehicle, and then transporting the patient if it's an ALS level call, and if it's a BLS level call, have them do transport if they're available. And then that way we would be able to bill that patient for the complete call.
Yeah, we would bill and get third-party payments, but the idea would be to help offset the fact that we're up responding to calls
in that area.
I don't know.
That'd be a kind of a project that would be very dynamic, but I think that is one of the, to me, as looking at it from both sides of the fence, that would be a very workable solution with a very low impact to their budget per se.
Well, I don't envision the calls in the village of Waukesha decreasing this coming year. If anything, it'll probably increase because of the amount of construction that I've seen going on. So we have to come to some conclusion as to how to best address that situation with our fire department versus their residents. And the only way we can do that is we have to be able to get some of our money back, and your solution to that is probably the way that I would see that we should go. That if we go down there, our level of service is higher than theirs, so they can't provide the level of service that we can provide. We need to be able to get our resources back somehow or another, and that would be through billing. You know, they would bill directly or through their village or however they want to handle it. But they have to understand there's no such thing as a free lunch, you know. And we've reached a point now where it's becoming increasingly more popular for them to call us. I mean, because they can't provide service. They just can't provide the service. We shouldn't have to provide the service for them unless we get some compensation for it.
So to reply to your comment, we've had the conversation with their chief and given him a couple of options of how we're going to, how things are going to change in 21. And like the chief said, one of those was, we'll come in and we'll take over the transports and, you know, that way it's a no budget impact on him. So we are having those conversations over there. It is frustrating because we're not getting the answer from Chief Buchholz about which one, how do you want us to do this? But it's going to change.
Well, nothing really. I mean, again, it's their community. They could opt to do a lot of different things, but the expectation that's out in the community now is that you have a paramedic showing up at your house if there's a medical emergency. That's what everyone assumes is happening. Not knowing where. I mean, there are some departments around us that send people that aren't even EMTs to a call, and that's wrong. But people don't know because you're not wearing patch. Maybe you don't have, you know, years ago everyone had the level that they had on their shoulder, and it was a little bit easier for us to kind of identify. We used to have all of our paramedics wear a white smock. Kind of got away from that because there's some cost and some upkeep with that stuff. But I think that's something that maybe that's probably a president type discussion that maybe can facilitate a decision at some point. I know you've been trying, boss. You've been trying just like I have, and again, we're trying to balance that contract issue with trying to maintain, you know, attractive wages that'll retain employees, and you know that's the challenge of an organization like this is that you know you have all these different facets that you need to make sure you can accomplish. And it's hard. And the biggest component that we deal with is retaining people. We lose people all the time to full-time jobs. And to get someone that goes to paramedic school, it's a year, over a year venture. And that's always been the case, but that's because that's the type of organization we have. You know, and even to, you know, a degree if you had a full-time people, there's still some jumping that goes around when benefits are better in another organization, pays better, working conditions are better, all those different factors. So we're really trying to retain the people we have, because if we lose some of our good key people, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult to maintain what we have. And that's our main motivation for trying to I don't want to say mash, but come up with these numbers, because we're still in a stipend program. Which, you know, is hopefully going to look attractive to them. But at some point, we're probably going to have to, as I've talked with the boss about, is look at full-time employees, because it's just that the resources aren't there. You know, and as things get more challenging with everything we're dealing with, you know, this is not an attractive job anymore. It really isn't. It wasn't like it was 30 years ago when we got into business, where you had 500 people for one job. Now it's, you know, there are career departments that can't get a handful of people to apply. So it's a challenge, it really is. And I think that kind of jumping off of that is that we need to really start the discussion with maybe there's that philosophy, maybe we should be looking at consolidation with the village of Waukesha, because we're two very like communities, where we could then accomplish those things like having a paramedic that covers both communities. I think that between both communities, the resources would definitely be there to really make it workable for everything, fire and EMS, because the needs are not going to go away; they're just going to get worse. You know, I mean, look at what we're, no offense here, but look what we're going to spend for police protection. $176,000 a year for one guy, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's like $95 an hour. You give me $95 an hour, man, that'd be great. Sure. Right, but you're not getting, like he said, there's no free lunch. You're not getting a car for free, you're not getting a gun for free, you're not getting anything for free. You know? And maybe we need to start looking at charging them rent for the substation to offset some of those costs. They're in our building every day. We've never charged them a dime since I've been there.
Part of the contract we provided.
Right, and now it's part of the contract. So, you know. But that's where we're at, and that's what we need to do to retain people. If you guys opt to not follow this or come up with something else, then we're gonna have to try to make it work, but, you know, we don't wanna be like other people where people aren't showing up at calls, because that's what will happen.
Okay, yeah, we understand that. At least I get it. I think the board understands it. What we're looking at, question one, I think Trustee Solani asked and you've answered. With the increases, with the scheduling, the hours, the shifts, I think we have enough on our expense side of the budget to cover those. We've also stated that if we don't have to go to the full-time paramedics, because we can't, because there's no cost sharing, we're going to make it work with part-time. And we've had that discussion before. In the detail, there is full-time positions. We'll just shift that money within the detail.
Right.
But the big thing is on these hourly rates and the stipends, is that making sure there's enough money covered before we go ahead and approve these amounts. Because we don't want to get into the situation, we both know about what happened in Waukesha, where the board approves higher amounts and then they're over budget.
Well,
We don't want to get there.
That was an extreme case where they went from a $10 an hour position to a $20 an hour position and never put any money in the budget. That was truly just a very, I don't want to say, I mean, that made no sense whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah, that came directly from the board.
Right.
So I think that this is our best estimate as to how we can be competitive, what we think we can do to accomplish from a budget standpoint. And we have the ability that if we're at a point halfway or 2/3 through the year that we have to make some adjustments, we can make adjustments that can help soften that impact a little bit. But that's one of those things that we're trying to massage it to make everything work together. But with the challenge of not knowing certain potential impacts, and also the biggest thing is trying to retain our people. That's the biggest challenge. I think this is what gets us there. I mean, we have the amount of time we have in this, and we have done so many different models and so many different kind of pay structures and everything else. This is what we think will really help make our people want to come here.
Yeah, and the stipends, I think that the significant increases are on the night and the weekend.
Yes, and that's, I mean.
And that's, and they are significant. I mean,
Absolutely.
And the hourlies, some of them stayed the same, some of them went up a nickel or
Right.
basically the same.
And
Some got bumped a little more.
Right, and just so you're aware, the hourly rates for the callbacks, those are for when we call people in for a call that we have a larger incident where we need additional people, or we're committed for an hour because of a fire or an accident or something. And those rates, that doesn't happen very often. That's a very low occurrence type of thing, but we have to establish that so that we have those rates.
And then the different two things is that if you notice the officer rate for part-time and duty crew, there's no separation of captain or lieutenant. They're getting paid that same rate. The only difference in that captain pay is, what is it, $1?
Dollar.
Right.
More than the lieutenant on callback.
Right, on callback, right. Right, where the money adds up is what you're saying is on the stipends, not necessarily on the callback.
Because
So the focus should be on,
and
the night and the weekend, but.
And the stipends are a direct reflection of the staffing that we provide every day. whether it's, you know, nights, weekends, or days. Those are the amounts that we need to reach each particular time period.
Well, it'd be nice to get some revenue.
And again, we're trying. We are really trying. It's, you know, it's one of those things that we sat down or went back and forth with LifeQuest to try and look at some of the different ways or the different increases in fees. One of our focuses was that we did not hopefully impact our residents, because our residents pay taxes as it is. But we looked at some of those potential non-resident revenue increases, because those people don't pay any type of tax. They don't pay any type of support to the fire department. So that's kind of what that philosophy was. Also keep in mind that we have responsibilities, not only just saying we want to provide service, but SPS 330, you know, institutes that we have to have 5 people for structural fire. That's why our number 5 is there. So just in case you always wondered why there were 5. And then obviously the state mandates, we have to provide paramedic coverage 24/7. It doesn't matter if it's a night, weekend, or holiday. So, you know, there's a lot of commitment that our people take on, whether it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, they're there. You know, so there's a lot of that. And then finally, that, you know, because of our staffing, our ISO protection rating improved, which affects people's insurance, which means the reality is they probably pay $100 less out of their pocket for fire insurance per year, or maybe more, depending on their company. So those are all positives that are a result of the staffing that you know may not be tangible from, well, how much did you save, but there are things that our residents have realized for that.
Okay, further questions? I think we've established that even with these, and the nights and the weekends have gone up percentage-wise. We understand the reason why and how we have to be competitive. But even with those increases in rates, we have enough money in our budget on the salary and stipend side. I think we combine the categories and all that to cover those increases. We think we can cover the contracts if we can get them without a significant change in those numbers. And then
we would need some of that money to offset a little bit of that.
So we might have to make a budget amendment for
absolutely.
that. Might have to.
Right.
We did build in some revenue increase, you know, taking into account and trying to anticipate these increases in fees. Some.
I don't remember what you put that number at for the ambulance billing per se, but I don't think that was based on our increasing these fees, was it?
Well, we increased it. Well,
and I know that's
it was just like, okay, we got to charge Waukesha some more.
Right.
We're going to increase our fees a little bit.
Right.
And it was a shot in the dark. It
Right.
always is on the rescue runs.
Right.
It always is. We can't. It's hard to predict. We can't say it's zero, but we can't say it's going to be, you know, $500,000 or $400,000 as a prior board wants.
Right.
Remember that. We're trying to be realistic
Right.
in what we collect.
You know, and I guess just the final thing is that if we're at a point where you feel that we don't have that ability, then we really need to look at doing some type of referendum with our community to find out what they're willing to pay for in terms of protective services, because there have been several communities now that have gone that route and have had strong support from their community that, you know, you add $100 to my taxes, but I'm getting much better fire protection or EMS level services. I think most people understand that conceptual idea. So that's something that, you know, looking down into the future is something that we may have to really look at to be able to provide.
Right, but that's something for a staff
Yep.
meeting, and I would say to that is something for a staff meeting and maybe a part of an overall survey
Yep.
of residents.
Right.
You know, we haven't had one of those, but that's on a staff we can put that on a staff agenda. So, other questions? Nope. Okay, so what we need to do, we are back on Resolution 2020-07 to establish salaries and reimbursements. We have what was presented, and so what we would have to do is make changes to what it was in our board packet, which is the old rates, okay? For the fire, well, no, it's the budgeted salary increases that are in there, and the old hourly rates are in there, and the old stipends are in there. So we'd have to update them to either what you have presented, or if there's other numbers, we should talk about what those other numbers might be. Why you guys are here. So, consensus off the board, on the board, so that we can get this resolution fixed up. Take as presented, based on the discussion.
That would be my cut.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go along with these numbers as presented.
And Trustee Mahalik, you were shaking your head. You concur, Trustee Dashik? Okay, so we have a concurrence. So we can have a motion to approve Resolution 2020-07 with the, as modified for the stipends and hourly rates of the Vernon Fire Department. Is that enough?
You got that motion?
Trustee Mahalik made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so we're through C, we're through D, we're on to contract agreements. Yes, sir. Oh, you're waving, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for.
Alexi, what?
Yeah,
Merry Christmas,
guys.
stay safe.
I
stay
hope you
well.
don't have to go out.
We will.
I know.
Alex, your contract is on the agenda. Are you staying, or I think you had one question about the expense reimbursement?
Yep.
But
That's where the money for the budget's coming out of your salary.
You know what? If you remember back a couple years ago, we took zeros for our people.
I know, I'm just pulling your leg.
okay, so we had two meetings. I think we increased your salary, and I think
3 meetings.
3 meetings, right? We've had so many meetings.
I know.
And as far as the expense reimbursements, I know we had a long drawn-out meeting earlier, you know, when it was level for a long time, and then it was bumped up significantly, and that was put in at the beginning of 2020. So this time around, I thought and I think we did freeze whatever we had agreed to earlier. No, as they were increased, went up to $150 a month, which is cell phone reimbursement and also expense reimbursement for everybody, and yours was $200. And that's what's been reimbursed all throughout 2020, other than maybe the month of January, because it was, you know, we had that adjustment earlier in 2020. So in the 2021 budget, when I checked it, for the budget, those 150 and the 200 stayed in for 21, for the whole year.
When we submitted our budget to her, they were increased by $300.
Well, I don't know about that.
$50 a monthly increase.
Okay, and the board then decided to freeze them because we had just increased them in 2020, as I
That's
read
the way I would.
read the
Would know,
consensus
yeah.
of the board. Am I misstating anything? I know I'm not speaking for the entire board. I'm just
I know that when we had our discussions back and forth, we had three meetings or whatever, and even the last meeting we came to, we asked if there was any questions about any line items at all, and there was no. I mean, Patrick, forgive me if I missed something, but at no time did I think we ever talk about those numbers. No one ever brought it up.
Well, I did mention it and made sure that everybody had their information, but so that's where we're at there. specifically on the agenda is your contract in there. And in there is your raises in there and the $200 is in there monthly.
And that was gonna go to the increase was 225 then, if it was,
Right, you proposed a budget at 225.
right.
Where I
That
think
and-
we're,
right. And
where I
those
think
are-
there might be a little, and maybe it's on my side, when I looked at it, I didn't think there was a proposed increase on any of the, to the 150. I thought they were all at 150, that'd be 1,800. I thought that's the way the budget, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'd have to go back and look at all those old pages, but it's in there right now at 150, I know it is. For everybody, and 200 for you. We're checking.
150 is 1,800, right?
1,800, right?
And that's what they were.
That's what it was it was 150, well, at least 11 months, I think, or in 2020. And it used to be, I can't remember what it was in 2019. I didn't bring the page. Right,
Yeah,
the
the
worksheet, yeah, the detail. That's right, isn't it? Yep. Yeah, that's right. The detail shows, yeah, assistant, it's 1,800, and then battalion chiefs, there's two, so it's 3,600. That's in the budget, that's 150.
But that
And
went
chief
up-
for you was 200, so it's in at 2,400. And the, I don't know, that the 2020 budget shows,
24.
That wasn't corrected.
yeah, okay, the 2020 is incorrect.
The 2021 is in error.
Is the 2020 on the detail is an error.
They
So, in 2019, we have actual.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, the difference is the chief submitted his numbers, but the board didn't agree with the increase. So the worksheet should be corrected, because it's just a worksheet, to reflect what you all approved as it relates to the freeze on the phone and mileage reimbursement,
This is for 2020,
2021.
2021. Okay, so in 2019, it was $100 a month,
No,
and I think chief
For them.
for them,
You were always $50 a month more.
okay.
you were 150.
Then it went
That was
from
19,
150
and
to
then it
100,
went from 100 to 150,
right,
and then from yours 150 to 200.
200.
Right.
Yep.
And then this year, we bumped them up a little bit. And then we actually went with $300 each, right? Is what we increased it by. I'll go back and look at our budget that we originally submitted.
It was 300 on the assistant, yeah, you're right. It would be 300 on the assistant chief, 300 on each battalion chief, and then
100 on.
I did correct yours, Alex. You have no increase on the worksheet, but I know you did request an increase.
Yes. I guess my frustration is that when we submitted the budget, I went in, I think we had some pretty extensive discussions on every line item in that budget. Made it very clear, if you had questions, we were here to talk and discuss them, and it was never talked about, and then when we're not here, it was. So that's kind of frustrating.
Okay, questions? I mean, it's a detailed number in the budget that can be revisited, but at this point on the fee schedule, it's what's in the budget. And we just passed the fee schedule.
And if that's the case, we'll just do the contract as it is, and we'll make it up next year. We'll talk about it next year. But it'll be a bullet point that we're gonna talk about through the budget process. So there's no surprises, and there's no.
That was, Chief, that was what I originally questioned. Why are we seeing this now instead of seeing this when we were doing the budget?
What, with that?
Yeah,
Because we didn't know what we were doing. We were waiting to hear what was going on. We've been having this discussion for 2 months about where we're gonna be, because there was all these different potential outcomes that we were gonna deal with that were gonna help offset salaries and wages. And we were at a point where I think I was pretty confident we were gonna have something put together by November-ish, at the latest, and then it just off the tracks, and
And the chief did call and
Yeah.
ask when what he
we've
wanted
been
to
going
know.
back and forth. So
He wanted to know when the board adopted the budget, so he wanted to have that final number to work with the chiefs.
but that's asked backwards, at least from how I've done it in the business world. I mean, we ask from the managers,
Mhm.
department heads, whatever, what do they need, right? And so then we build the budget and we see how that fits in with the revenue, make whatever adjustments we have to have, okay? So given what you gave us originally, I would have just assumed that was a done deal as long as we didn't go and change a lot of it. If we had to change things, then we'd come back to you, at least let you know.
and some of those things were changed, that when we submitted the original 50/50 for the cost sharing of the employee, it was one, I think it was 140 something. If we go back and look.
Yeah.
And actually, that actual number, if you add everything up, is only 122, I think. So I think there were some things because we moved some stuff around.
Right.
And I think either that got lost in the translation, or someone decided, hey, we're gonna knock 20 grand off here, or take 30 grand off of this line item. Because that's happened in the past where we've had a number in there, and then all of a sudden it arbitrarily becomes $30,000 less, and it's do what you can with this. That's how we've done it the last how many years?
Yeah.
It's been very frustrating.
That's how we were directed to do it.
Yes.
This is the number you're getting.
Make
and
it
then
work.
You have to figure out where
Right.
it's gonna go.
Right.
And then we would submit it.
Right.
Yep.
So that's not by choice that we've been doing it this way.
And that's before you.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
So
agree
it's
with
just-
what he's saying.
I mean, because we could have rolled in and said we need $950,000. You would have said no. That's
Exactly.
yeah. So, but again, it's there's all these external issues that we I don't say we relied on, but we're going to impact how we move forward. So, and then again, it's hard because you're almost making a guess as to what it's going to be. You don't have a little crystal ball to say, hey, here's what's going to happen. Our goal is to generate some revenue by working with the Village of Waukesha. That will offset those costs.
And we started it, so everybody's aware, we started it in August? July.
Beginning of, or actually right after the 4th of July, we had a meeting.
Right.
And it's been going on just that long. And again, you've speculated on some of the issues there. I think that's got a lot to do with it. I mean, how do you not spend capital, or having $2 million in the bank for a capital project you haven't spent in 5 years? That's my tax money. I'm not happy about that. But again, those are needs that are there that no one's meeting. We're on the other side of the fence where we've done that. Our community has stepped to the plate. Our board has been supportive to say, you know what, here's what we need to do. Because it does cost money. We just bought an ambulance last year, $240,000 for an ambulance. It's expensive.
Okay, we gotta get
Moving them.
back on schedule and
Okay, one last thing. Tomorrow's our birthday.
Yes,
Hey.
tomorrow's our birthday.
tomorrow is the fire department's birthday.
Oh.
December 10th.
How old?
December
right.
10th, or December 18th, 2010, was the day we split. We are 10 years old. So,
Hey, congratulations.
yep, we're having cake.
Where's the cake?
We're gonna make a pineapple upside down cake or
There
something.
you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Don't share utensils and
Thanks.
stay safe.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So we're gonna live with this contract
We're gonna try, you and I can,
yeah, we're gonna have to talk about Waukesha and
and if we have to make amendments, we'll make amendments. If we have to make changes, we'll make changes.
yeah, we gotta get our contracts first.
Yes. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have Merry
guys.
Christmas to you guys.
Yes.
If we don't
Yeah,
see
Merry
you.
Christmas, stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let's not go there, guys. Well, I was thinking of something else. Not really a joking matter, but I was thinking of something else. But. Right, we haven't heard anything on the other, nope, okay, good.
We were on the phone on the way back from Wyoming today trying to make.
Yeah, and I gotta catch up with you on that. Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
thanks. Not gonna say anything more about that.
Oh, no.
Okay, so, we can take these out of order, because I'm just thinking about the fire chief's employment agreement. Getting because he, get a motion to approve and authorize the, village president to sign it. Fire chiefs. Is there a second?
Second. Yep.
Is there, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oh. Was a tie.
Second.
I heard,
Jim can.
I heard motion,
Yeah, I second it.
and I heard Jim. Okay. DPW director, he's here, so let's go back to the beginning. And I think there, we put the budgeted raise in there, and, I think we updated the vacation, so. Right, and I did, talk to, John this afternoon at length, and including about, employees, so, but that's not on the agenda, his contract is. So John, concurs that he's in agreement with it. So we're looking for a motion to authorize, the 2021 employment agreement with the Village of Vernon DPW director, approve and then authorize the president to sign it.
Make a motion to that effect. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim made the motion,
I'll second.
trustee Mahalik seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to building inspector contracted services. Yeah, Vince said they were good. I think it's pretty consistent, actually. Except for the year, right? So, we're looking for a motion to approve the contract for 2021 inspection services and authorize the village president to sign it.
Make the motion.
Okay, second? Is there a second? I'll second. Discussion. This is for Wisconsin Building Inspections, and Vince Abudiak is our inspector. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we are on to assessor's contracted services, and we've had discussion in the last meeting about this. There was an email
Yes, from the assessor saying that
today.
he,
Saying it was,
He was good.
yep, and well aware within the percentages that the board wanted the assessor to stay within.
Yeah, but now, we haven't seen the replies from requests for proposals, on the assessors. So, are we saying we're gonna stay with them?
Yeah, remember you decided at the last meeting not to do RFPs?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, because of the time frame, you were gonna look
Right.
at it at Board of Review in 2021.
In June.
right.
Yep.
Only because, Jim, January is such a critical month for
Right.
assessments.
Yeah, I remember you're saying that now.
Yeah, but
I
you,
still don't like it.
I know. You didn't like it then either, Jim.
That's right.
At
We're
least you're
consistent.
consistent.
Now we have to, I can't remember if you made the motion
Oh, that's true. We should go back and check.
or not. Never. Okay. So, and it's in there, both real and personal property within 10% of full value, and I did talk to, Cal.
But that's always in there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always been in there,
Yes.
Right.
and
But
he
it
didn't
hasn't.
follow that.
And
I
he
just-
is-
So why should we think he's gonna follow it? No.
well,
Yeah,
That's-
true. Yep. Yeah.
well, and you know, this last year, 2020, we kept raising it during the year, and I think with the COVID and the late board of review, but
Yeah.
I think it's something that we have to stay on top of. Now, he did his best. No assessor can put us right at 100% on a reval, but I mean, it's already at 96.73%.
Yep.
Sliding down.
So we're already
I ju-
behind. We're
I
already
just-
behind right
I
now.
just haven't gotten past being down to 82%.
Right.
Or whatever the final number was.
Right. Well, and I did have a discussion with him about that. So, so we're looking for a motion to approve the agreement to provide assessor services to the Village of Vernon and authorize the president to sign it.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay,
Motion passes 4-1. Trustee
You're right.
Solani.
He's
Oh.
consistent.
Okay.
What you need. That's why we vote.
That's why we vote. Okay, now we are on to letter F. Human Resources Committee recommendation for job description, posting, and interviewing process. And we'll have either trustee Solani or trustee Dashik give us a report. They had a meeting Tuesday. I stopped in. I discussed some of the changes I would like to see to the job description and job postings, and left the meeting. So I'm not sure where we all ended up there.
we adopted virtually all the changes you had with perhaps some phraseology that
Right.
we kind of all hashed out during the time. I've gotten some from, also recommendations from trustee Walde. I think we've actually taken care of all those in our final. Unfortunately, we don't have the finalized copy. I didn't get anything from Pat
I
today,
did
you?
not yet either. She kind of warned us she might not have it ready for this meeting.
Yeah,
But what were Gary's concerns? Do we have a copy of that?
yeah, I do. I have a written copy of it.
Yeah,
Of it. So,
I should have got it to you because Jim didn't see it. You probably would have.
Not necessarily. He's on top.
no, but I think we've covered them all. We'll go over it with our, with Pat.
Right.
I'll copy this thing and send it off to you guys.
He'll give it to me
Be
and I'll
great.
send it, because you don't want to violate the.
There you
open
go,
meetings law.
yeah.
Yeah, let's be careful. Okay, so what is your, so it's not ready for any approval or adoption tonight, but what is your timeline? You think the beginning in January, our
Oh,
first
yeah,
meeting?
we want to have it done even sooner if we can. So if we have another meeting between now and then, we'll have it ready. I tried to get up with Ron today and he never called me back. I had him set up a specific email for him to be able,
Oh,
for
yeah.
people to send.
He told me it is set up.
Yeah, but they don't work.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, it
I can't get in it. So I tried, I need to get with him on that. I know he was tied up with us right after lunch, and that's when I tried to get with him after we hung up, but I didn't hear from him on that.
Carl, if Pat does get it completed and we have any kind of a board meeting, can you add that on just for approval?
Okay, well, I'm writing down your request. Otherwise, our regular board meeting is January 7th. And I know the board members are interested in the final copy, so whenever they're available, don't wait for the board packet. It can be distributed out early, Rick. Distribute out the material early so people can be ready in the event that that's a possibility.
Okay.
Anything, board members, the attorney, the planner, anything they want to get to, just send it through me so I can send it and protect you.
Right. Okay, so I'm writing down that request. Okay. Anything further to report? I take it the plan is to get approvals and start posting in
Yeah,
early
well,
January, and the interview process will be, what are you contemplating? Not that we're gonna approve it tonight necessarily, but what are you contemplating so we know what we're looking at?
Well, we kind of always knew that December was going to be a pretty slow month for anybody to
Anybody.
responded back anyhow. So that's why we were hoping to have it, approvals now. Then we'd be submitting the want ads, if you will,
Posting?
postings.
And is that gonna, sorry to interrupt, is that gonna include a recommendation to whatever job electronic bulletin boards we're going to post at?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, just as an FYI, I don't have the numbers from Pat, who is the chair of our committee, but it was somewhere in the neighborhood about $300 a month for posting them. And I'm not certain if that was for one particular board, like Monster or
Yeah.
multiple boards.
That was vague. I didn't get a firm
Yeah,
feeling for what we were
So-
paying.
that's kind of the numbers we're looking at.
And we have one too, Jim, that you could use that we already pay for DPW, just to post it. It's all encompassing. I'll get that to you. I'll email it to you, and then you can look at that also.
Yeah, and
Okay.
definitely get it to Pat, so.
Are you guys, is the HR committee going to meet anytime between now and January 7th? Well, you are.
We are.
Okay, and on those agendas, of course, is a little disclaimer at the bottom that says, other member of the board can
Right.
attend the meeting, and if it creates a quorum, it's okay because no board action is going to be taken. So all the board members are
We
Are welcome.
welcome
are
your
welcome to
input.
attend, just like when we have, like Jim and I have board members are welcome to attend. And it's on the disclaimer at the bottom of the agenda so that you can attend if you'd like. So December 20,
29.
what did you say, 29 at 4 p.m.? Okay,
Now,
okay, continue.
just to
I
show you how
interrupted
anxious I was at our last meeting here at 1:00.
You were early?
Oh, yeah, about 3 hours. I stayed the whole time too, by the way. I got a lot of other work done. But, so that's the plan, and currently, our proposal is we'll get these responses emailed back to a private HR account that only members of our committee can access. And we'll review the resumes we get in, and we'll
Narrow it.
actually interview maybe, depending on how many we get in, of course, 5 of the top contenders that we feel are the top contenders for the positions, and then make a recommendation of the top 5 to the board. Now, that's the recommendation from the HR committee itself on the process for it. I don't know how the board feels about it. I was not because all the other members are females, but I was the only one that didn't feel it was necessary for the committee to actually do the interviews. We were going to review the resumes, but I think the overwhelming sense was that, well, people tend to, what was the word you used, Fred? Elaborate or embellish their a little bit too much on the resume itself, so they wanted to actually talk to them first. So unless the board has any other objections to that or suggestions, that's the way we're planning to go ahead with it.
Just a clarification, Jim, I think you said it, but refresh for me, how many people are you, is the committee intending to have for the board to interview?
3.
3, okay.
We wanted to whittle it down to
Thank you. That's what I was.
to 3.
I heard 5 stuck in my head.
Yeah, we were
Right.
thinking on separating it down to start with just the 5 that we thought were the best ones. Kind of pick and choose out of that and recommend the top 3 to
That's fine.
the board.
Thank you.
I don't know how realistic it is to expect more than 5 resume responses,
tell.
but I haven't had to hire people for a year or two now, so I don't know what the market's like out there for this type of position. I think that covers.
You did a good job.
Thank you, Darlene. Then our next step is, once we get into that process, then we're going to move on to the employee manual,
Okay, good.
which was the other half of our task,
To the what?
the employee manual.
Oh, good.
I've got,
It's gonna take you some time,
I think so.
starting from page 1.
I've gotten several different employee manuals from Karen from different municipalities, to help out, ferret out some of this stuff.
Well, it'd be nice to-
And as an aside, we have not talked with Attorney Marsek on any of this yet.
Did recommend the League of Municipalities. That was Gary's recommendation, is the league was the most current, but
Yeah.
For the employee manual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good, there's a sample. Okay,
Right.
we're straying a little bit off the agenda when we get
Oh, I'm sorry.
into the manual.
Well, that was part of the HR agenda.
Our HR report, okay. Okay, any other questions? We've got a timeline, good idea, and we've got January 7th or an earlier meeting, and you've got a December 29th date. Okay, then on letter G, it was county collecting taxes for next year's tax. I know the HR committee has been discussing that. I know we discussed it as a board earlier, and I think Trustee Wildy, you wanted it on here on the agenda,
Right.
and so I put it on the agenda.
I appreciate that. The only reason I asked for this is because it's an agreement that the board should probably look at specifically, and the committee, I don't feel that this is in the area of approval.
Purview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. I think this is something that is a board item that needs to be settled at the board level. I don't have any problem with this collection agreement. I don't know if you wanted to have this wanted to discuss this because you wanted to make it part of the treasurer's type of job description? Is that what the reason was?
Partially. We needed to consider it
Mhm.
one way or the other so that we could devise or create the job descriptions accordingly.
Okay.
Okay?
I
So that
understand.
was the main reason why we had to talk it over,
Okay.
type of thing. But just to clarify something, the committee can talk about anything in our little heart's desire, as long as we put it on the agenda, of course,
Absolutely.
because the agenda police gets all over us when we don't do that quite right. And we just felt this was germane to
Keeping
our
our
main
promise,
task
Susan
of
Well,
defining that.
I didn't have
And
a
it would
problem.
only be, our committee would only make a recommendation,
That's,
to the
That's
board.
fine,
That's
yeah.
all it's ever been, just like
Yeah.
the people. We're not gonna hire the people. We would make a recommendation.
right.
It's-
I just felt that
Yeah,
it
okay.
should have been at a board level, and
We agree
and I can
100%.
understand your reasoning for how you wanted to approach it, which I can understand, but this, whether we go ahead and talk about that now at the board level, but it might help you in getting your problem
Right.
resolved.
Because, go ahead, Lorraine.
It's rather premature to talk about it now anyway, Gary, because we know some information about what the county would charge us,
Right,
but there's another option. There's another option that possibly Citizens Bank could collect.
yep, right.
And we don't know all the details on what they would need, like if they'd need to install the Banyan program on their computers, and they might have to hire additional people. But I discussed that with Laura
Right.
from
Okay.
Citizens Bank.
Okay, all
Well,
right.
yeah, Citizens Bank
They
might
don't
collect,
yet.
but it might still need inputting into the Banyan here at the Village Hall. But it's a policy matter. The board's gonna make that decision. It's gonna be a budget policy matter. The
Good.
board's gonna have to decide if they get to approve the contract or not.
Yeah.
I think, though, the treasurer, it is premature at this point, but
Right. We
Okay.
don't-
it's obviously gonna have to be decided.
Right.
wage. If you're paying someone to collect taxes or not, is a great bearing on how much you're gonna pay someone.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right. There's also a different cost if it's county and bank collecting. That's another variable. So until you actually know those numbers, we can't make that decision yet.
Right, and we're gonna kind of keep track of how many people actually come or go.
We weren't gonna.
This is not gonna be a representative year. It just won't.
Carl, the last portion, how many people?
Actually come in person to pay, but.
Thank you.
It is not going to be a representative
This-
year because of
this
COVID.
is-
I mean, it's just,
We're gonna track it for you,
This-
but
This isn't going to, this wouldn't have any direct bearing on this year at all, would it? the tax
correct,
collection?
nope.
All right, well, then it's kind of
Nope.
mute point, you know, that you need to go back.
Right.
You can probably take it under consideration.
Right, we're looking at 2021.
Okay, well,
Yep.
then that's fine and dandy. 'Cause I thought we were gonna try and decide it. It seemed like at the last minute. This
we're
was-
already collecting taxes, Gary. It'd be-
Yeah. But s-
Right.
Okay,
And
good.
that kind of contract needs to be, whether it's with citizens or the county or some,
As long as
Whoever.
it keeps up on the.
it will
fourth-
have to be done in August, September
As long
timeframe.
as we make a
Right.
decision.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But I just know
Okay,
Citizens
good.
Bank collects it for McGuanago. So does Waukesha State Bank also does too, but they don't enter it into Banyan. They do not, no bank does that.
Right.
Okay. I don't
All
have a
right.
problem then.
We're good? Okay, let's go to H, keep her going here. It's getting towards 9. Village attorney's request for a village board to respond to the following court proceedings, the Banting
Oh.
dog bite restitution creek and the Kruger zoning violation judgment. So, you do have your attorney's page here, and so what is being asked is, our attorney Christopher Schultz, is looking for authorization to attend the restitution hearing for the Diapa matter. Is that how I say that right? Dilapa. Oh, there's no L in them. Oh, that's because he doesn't have it. Okay, that's because I'm missing the L. I fogged up the Dilapa matter. And so that's the first one. And the second one, he's looking for a motion to authorize him to docket the judgment. So let's take the Dilapa matter first. That's all he's asking is to attend the restitution hearing. So we need he's looking for authorization to do that, so I'm looking for, if the board so chooses, a motion to authorize Attorney Schultz to attend the restitution hearing in the Dilapa matter.
I'll make that motion.
And a second, any discussion?
In regard to the Dilapa, did this letter that we got here, it's kind of indecipherable. I was trying to figure out what exactly it said.
That was to the judge, asking, he wants to come and appear and speak in regards to the judgment that was given to him for not showing up.
Okay, all right, so this doesn't pertain to us, it's just a letter to the judge that he
Yes.
This has been an ongoing thing, or, I mean, this is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happened a couple years ago.
Now,
It's-
can you give us some quick
The
background?
dog, the Dilapa dog viciously attacked Mr. Banting's dog and Mr. Banting.
Oh.
They both were transported. The dog went to a vet and he was taken to the hospital. Mr. Banting did retain an attorney and did recover his medical costs, but he's got over $6,000 of fees that the dog, that the judge told Mr. Dilapa, well, it gave that judgment that he has to pay restitution.
Okay, I just wanted a snapshot. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
it's been ongoing. This happened in,
2017.
yeah, it's been,
Oh, yeah, it's,
yeah, it was
No wonder I
before my
didn't
time,
remember.
Gary, you
Yeah,
might.
I remember it.
Well before my time, or just before my life,
It was pretty detailed.
Yeah.
before I left.
Yeah, it was a
Pretty
vicious.
sad.
Yeah, it was a vicious.
wouldn't we always have
You know,
village attorney?
it's going to be on staff, Jim, with John here, and he can explain. So you can ask questions in regards to what happens in a zoning matter, in a dog matter. So we do have it on staff, so you guys can quiz the attorney.
On
Yeah,
staff, but
for
wouldn't we
free.
always just have them attend
No.
these type of things?
Well, there has been some issues, and that's why we're gonna put it on staff to go through issues of the past. and
Okay.
what's attended and what isn't.
All municipalities allow their attorney to,
I would say so.
especially when a judgment is rendered for the village, and then it was a town, but
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
But we do,
Through these,
Then
but the president did put this on staff so you could ask the attorney.
does
Those
our
guys are-
attorney's fee back charge, or is that just out of our pocket?
Yeah,
oh,
we pay for that.
Yep, thank you.
that's what my question was.
We don't recover any of that.
Oh, that's a,
So we have a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion, then we'll have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now, would this be attorney?
Christopher Schultz is our,
Schultz. Okay,
he
that's-
represents us in court.
Right, and he works for the Municipal Law and Litigation Group.
Oh, he does work. For
Yes,
the same
yes.
Group.
Right, it's the same
Okay.
group, right.
Okay, that's.
He's one of
Is
the
that the
litigation-
same Schultz that represents Big Bend, or am
No.
I?
Nope,
Is it the?
No relation.
But it is Schultz and Big Bend.
No, it's with our legal firm.
Schober, thank you, thank you.
Schober.
Schober.
And there is, oh yeah, and there also is
Municipal
Schultz.
attorney.
Pardon me?
Is he? Yeah.
Leonard Schultz is an attorney in Big Bend also, but no relation.
No relation, thank you.
next matter is the Kruger zoning violation judgment. I'll give you a brief here. This is, more recent. We did issue a ticket to Mr. Krieger. It went into, court. Mr. Krieger default didn't show up, and the court, found him in violation and assessed the fine as the ticket stated. And the next step is, and you see in your email train, the dollar amount. The next step is, and this came in, Christopher Schultz, when I talked to him, he goes, well, can I just go and docket this judgment? And I said, well, I bring it to the board and get authorization, because if it was up to me, I would just authorized it, but I didn't know if I had that kind of authority as president, so that's why we put it on the agenda. So what he means by that is, you can read the emails, but once you get a judgment, you have to docket it. And by docketing it, it becomes a lien on the person's property. And then we will put on staff whether we should then take independent collection efforts, but that's not on the agenda tonight. So the step today is to get it docketed.
Is there a dollar amount involved with this?
98,657. 98,657. So we're looking for a motion to authorize Attorney Schultz to docket the judgment and authorize the clerk, treasurer, and president to sign all necessary documentation to do so.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion?
I bet you this gets his attention.
Well, that's the point. I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean we can't negotiate a smaller amount in exchange, making sure his property is cleaned up, though.
It did surprise me how fast the amount.
Can go. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, what is it, like $2,000 a day,
yes,
right, if I remember right?
yes.
Having said that, what did this start out at?
2,000. 2,500.
2,500,
That
and
was
now it's
the
up.
that was the original fine, was
Cool.
$2,500. And we talked about this numerally, that, you know, how many letters were sent and how much discussion Vince had with the property people, and it was just ignored, you know, so I have no really big sympathy.
Wow. I don't either, I just was surprised at
Yeah.
how, holy
Adds up
cow, that
quick.
adds up,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
And I know the board, okey dokey, they're approved
Right, we
that.
approved ticketing him,
Yeah.
given all the facts and circumstances, and the $2,000 and the $2,000 a day and the court costs. All of that was approved earlier by the board. So we're just to the next step, to authorize Attorney Schultz to docket the judgment.
Right,
And then we'll put on staff, collection. You know, we always do on staff, all third party, or all accounts payables, or receivables, I mean, we talk about.
yeah.
So we'll put him on there, and we can decide what to do at that point, and Attorney Macy will be here, and we can quiz him on that.
What started this?
Continual violations of zoning violations on his property.
Okay.
Yearly.
Yearly. Okay.
And
I
by
don't want
yearly-
to go into long dissertation. I just wanted to.
Yep.
Thank you.
Vince will be at staff and he can go through that too. Okay, so we had a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. True Green contract renewal. DPW Director.
Yeah, we just have a 1-year renewal for this. The cost of it for next year is the same as it was this last year, so we're pretty much a wash. as far as-
Any issues with their service or?
No, we've been pretty happy with them, actually. You said I've been toying around with a little bit, spraying our own weeds a little bit, but we can't fertilize to the extent that they're just set up way better than we are. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to provide that service.
Now, how many years have we used them? I can't remember now.
Geez, that's,
Oh, at least 10.
yeah.
And we
And-
go
Yep.
looking around in the first place for
Yes.
other vendors?
Yeah.
Not this year.
No, this has been the same one since I've been here, and I know since I
Yeah,
started.
Doug did an extensive
He on the
study.
approved vendor list? This particular guy?
Approved vendor, we don't have an approved vendor list.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean for
There's
ACH?
the rub.
Can
I
we,
think these are the guys that I kicked off my property because he killed my asparagus 30 years ago.
can we continue? It's getting late. John, if you said spray weeds, okay, if you were to do that, do you need a license, training,
these guys are-
schooling?
Yeah, you gotta be licensed for these pesticides.
No, you said you were going to do it.
Yeah, we do a little bit of spot spraying,
Okay,
we can
all
of
right.
our own, but we're not certified to do
No. Thank you.
quantities that they are.
Thank you.
This is mostly in the
The
Ballparks.
parks, Heather Ridge Park, and then down here in the ballpark, and then, so on the fields. And last year it went up like $200, I believe. It was right around there. And this year, like I said, it's stayed the same, so.
Make a motion to approve the True Green contract. Do I need a number? In the amount of $3,608.04.
And authorize the
And authorize, right, go ahead.
Authorize the
village president to sign.
it.
And authorize the village president to sign. Thank you, yes.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Aramark service agreement. So we're extending, oh no, we get the 3 weeks too. We're extending it for
3 years.
3 years.
Yep, it's a 3-year service agreement, same price also. And if we sign it, we get 2 free weeks of service, so.
Now, I haven't seen their truck come in lately. Are they not doing it right this time of year?
Every day.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah,
Any issues with it?
no.
Their
Really good.
service or
Good job.
cleanliness or?
Actually, they got this new guy on there now, and he's been servicing, very well. I think he's doing an excellent job.
Do we get rags from them, the new
Yep.
rags?
Rags and,
Like,
and,
As well as the carpets?
Coveralls.
yeah,
We did the coveralls too?
Yep.
yeah, for the mechanic, so.
And what is the pricing? Did he say it was the same price?
He said it was the same price. It's locked in at the same rate.
Oh,
Bless you.
And quite honestly, I don't think you can touch that rate anybody else. I mean, I looked at Cintas last year. We looked into them, and I knew they were not comparable. And I know there's other ones like Karen had mentioned too about some other ones, but
Allsco, we did some.
but they don't provide rugs or whatever. Some of
Right.
them don't have all the services that these guys do. So.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion to what? Approve the
Amendment service
amendment
agreement?
service, or a service agreement addendum for the Aramark what are they?
So moved.
Cleaning with, and authorize the president to sign it.
I heard
I'll
Gary
second.
say that.
Gary, and I heard a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on to K.
Yes.
Uh,
Mr. President, I
Mr.
just-
Chairman, sorry, Karen, go ahead.
I just wanted to let you know that Sherry did come in and change the date. Her event isn't in June. It's December 31st for 3 hours.
Okay, so not June 16th, 2018.
December 31st,
December 31,
For 3 hours.
2020. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yep.
And they did pay their bill in full. But this is a fundraiser, they need a new furnace now.
Oh,
On New Year's Eve.
But they don't need to have to pull a permit.
Mr. Chairman, did we miss D?
That costs,
Oh, quarter, you called him a chairman.
Yeah,
Oh.
no.
That's
it's a
why.
point of
two hours
order.
apart.
Yeah, he called me the chairman. so-
No, I apologize.
Okay, so you're making a point of order. You're saying, did we miss letter D, 2021 fee schedule? I
Yes.
do believe we passed that.
Yes, and needs to be voted on. Does that get can I get my money back? Or
No.
my attaboy back?
You can have all the attaboys you want, but
Okay.
that's your money.
Touche.
Okay, back on the letter K. And so we're changing, she did come in and change the application to December 31st, 2020, 3 hours.
Everything's in order.
Everything's in order, and they paid their fees.
Yep, and whenever they do their events, they never have any problems.
And they don't owe us any money. 'Cause
Nope.
They paid it up.
They paid it in
do you know
full.
what they're gonna do?
They're just having like a little hors d'oeuvres and music, a little New Year's Eve,
Oh,
you know, everything individually wrapped. All their beverages are in containers. You know, they're very in fact, I attended their service, not that I'm that faith, but even their setbacks in there, which is difficult for some churches.
Yeah, they're meeting in person, but they are trying to follow the Waukesha County Public Health.
You know what the
guidelines.
nice thing though is their new pastor. Oh, he says Vernon about 1,000,000 times during the mass. Vernon, Vernon, Vernon.
Hopefully only in a good way.
Oh yeah, it was only in a good way. Yep.
So was it a good way after the thing with the shed?
Sorry.
Yeah, he was real pro Vernon.
So we're looking for approval of the temporary Class B license for Vernon Lutheran Church for December 31st, 2020 for 3 hours as applied for. And I don't have to sign this, do I?
No, I do.
Make a motion to,
Authorize the clerk treasurer to sign it.
yeah. Motion to approve with the clerk's signature?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Discussion, and I did mention, presumably they are complying with Waukesha County Public Health guidelines for distancing and.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
On any event like this.
Right.
And you're gonna spray them down before they come in.
I'll take my machine over there.
Okay, any further discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, we're moving on. Number 8, correspondence.
Nope,
Can I,
nope.
Did I miss something again?
no, point of order, are we supposed to go back and do C and D?
We did those.
We did those.
How did I miss? Okay.
We established the
We
salaries
didn't
with.
do the resolution, though.
Yeah, you did. Should I tell you who made the motion and how you
Yeah,
voted?
go ahead and tell me that I made it.
Fred made the motion and
I made
Jim,
the motion.
you seconded it. It was unanimous.
Do with it.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Karen, I made the motion?
Yeah, for the fee. Yes, you made the motion and Jim did the second, and it was voted unanimous.
Right.
Thank you.
So yes, and the salary, same thing. We made especially clear that it was adopting the fire department numbers and
Yep.
the fee schedule with the 2 changes.
Oh,
on it.
that's right, got it, okay.
Yep.
Karen, do you want to send out a sheet that we all sign for this?
For the,
For the
I do have, yeah.
2020-08?
Yep. I don't know if I have to.
Okay, so we'll go to announcements. We'll start with Trustee Dashick this time.
Oh, going the other way.
Going the other way.
Good.
Trustee Mahalik.
Well, mine are very sweet, short and sweet. I want to just remind everybody on driving in snow or slippery conditions, the amount of accidents and severe injuries, fatalities that have occurred as of this last snow were horrific. And I just remind people, a couple minutes will not make a huge difference in getting to point B from where you're leaving. So be careful. check your stopping distances. And the other one, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Wildy.
Yeah, I would also echo Fred's comments regarding the upcoming holiday season. I wish everyone a very blessed Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I did have one call that we're going to refer to. A gentleman called and asked me what's involved in running for the village board, since he knew that I was not going to be running again. And I spent some time with him and talked about what the duties are and what can be involved. And I don't know. I told him, if you're interested, to come down and see Karen and get some papers to take out. I don't know if he's going to do that or not, but he seemed interested enough that he would probably want to explore the idea of doing it. So other than that, I don't have anything other than make sure everybody has a nice, safe, and prosperous New Year's and a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Trustee Solani.
Well, I wished everybody a Merry Christmas 2 weeks ago, but I'll repeat it for those that weren't around. Stay safe and have a blessed and Merry Christmas. It was a busy year this year, and I think we got a lot accomplished as a board. So, I think accolades go out to everybody for all the time that has been spent in our endeavors.
I'd like to ditto those comments about the activity of the board, to include the chair
Been busy.
and the clerk.
Chair.
That's
President. There it is.
50 cents?
So it's too
You're
late.
better off when you didn't say nothing.
I'm not going to say anything. I'll make a motion to adjourn and all that other stuff. That doesn't involve president or whatever.
Whatever you are.
All right. Okay. My president report. And then we'll get to DPW and clerk treasurer. But yes, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Winter Solstice. Look at the planets as they conjoin. Stay safe. And I agree that we need to put 2020 behind us, although I'm sure it's going to continue on into 2021. And Christmas is, stay safe over Christmas and behave the next 7 days so you can enjoy it with your family and stay away from the COVID. As far as, we'll get to DPW too, and as I mentioned before, I did talk to John, and we've heard from one of our employees today, and I did address some of those issues with John, and I'll be following up with him on that. So, John, do you have a report? And hopefully it doesn't snow too much. What's not supposed to till Christmas?
No, just basically we had a kind of a near miss last Saturday. It was supposed to kind of hit us, but didn't really. We had a little bit of freezing intersections Monday morning that we had to take care of. But once again, I just want to let everybody know, give us some room when these trucks are out there. 200 feet behind them would be appreciated. Just so they're not crowding us. The other thing is, they did get that silt fence removed up there on Center Drive, so we should be getting.
Oh, they did do it.
Yeah, we should be getting the final invoice. I think soon to finish that up and get that wrapped up. So, and then the other hand, I know talking with Andy Schultz, he's just did a bid opening for another municipality. He said that sounds like that it's going to be. He said roads are on sale next year. Put it this way, he said, because the way the bids came in for this other project, he said they're way under what they have been.
Oh, good.
So he says that might be in good shape for our budget for this coming year for getting everything we were looking for in there.
Okay, should we put that on staff? Because we could get Andy to.
That was the other thing, yes. I think we need to put that on the next agenda to get the approved for him to go ahead and get those,
Okay, so
ready
not on our staff meeting,
No.
but on January 7th
Yes,
to get
I
it
would-
going?
right. So we can get that out for bids. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we'd have to talk to him and give him the okay to go ahead and start working on that.
And tell them exactly what roads.
Yep. So,
Although we do have a good idea. So
Yeah.
that'll be on January 7th.
Yep.
Okay. Clerk treasurer.
To let the residents know that the 2021 ballot packets are ready. They're on the website. They're on WEC's website. They don't have to come in to pick those up, but they are here if they need them. Just want to remind residents also that if they want an absentee ballot and they're not indefinitely confined, you can email them to the clerk's office. You can send us an email letting us know if you want an absentee ballot. And just wanted to echo the president and board members' comments in regards to the holiday season. That's it.
Thank you. We'll go to accounts payable.
Did everyone get my email and see the revised?
I did,
Okay. Okay, just wanted you to, yeah, it's
Right.
$100.
Right, and this afternoon, the clerk treasurer and I went through the plan commission, and there was
Yep,
adjustment up and down
right.
and figured out, so those who are having their plan commission stipend added to their payroll, their paycheck, W-2,
It'll be added in January.
it'll be on the little adjustment will be added in January. So
And
we've got a new amount, right?
Right, and you can see the ones, I voided out the other ones that were incorrect.
I did
Make a motion to approve batch 202-01217 in the amount of 81,231.92.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion, I did ask the clerk treasurer, there was a couple of, there was a bill for U.S. legal support in the amount of $1,925. That is going to our insurance carrier that deals with the cell tower litigation. I just wanted to clarify with her. She confirmed it, and then also the invoices from Rock River Auto Body for the damage to the ambulances
And we've received 23,000 so far.
from the insurance company.
Yes,
And these bills are under that right now, but there's more coming, I take it?
right, right.
And I think those are the two things I confirmed with
Yep.
to report.
Why were there so many occupancy bonds?
Because because I know we're having an audit coming up, and Howard cannot stand, he's a good auditor, and he wants to make sure Vernon's current on all of our, current as far as
That's why you tried to clear 'em up.
cleaning it up. So that's why you're seeing a little cleansing there. Come on, Vince. So Vince got them all together, and
Okay.
Howard will be really happy.
I noticed that myself, Jim.
I was,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
out today checking ditch bonds too. So
Yeah,
I have a
and-
few of those.
Yeah,
be
John.
ready.
Yeah, John watches his, but John's is a total different egg than a occupancy bond. We can't return those culvert bonds as fast as we can in occupancy.
Yeah.
But John, we never have to remind John. No offense to Vince, but John's.
Well, that's a significant amount of money people put out for some of these occupancies.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at that too.
And you know something? No person called asking where. Not
Oh.
one of those people there have ever called to say, "Hey, where's my occupancy?"
Yeah, some of them are getting kind of old.
Yeah,
So I'm glad that's been done.
Yeah,
yeah.
Kinda
Just so you
nice to
know.
get 'em
good.
cleaned up. Any other discussion on the motion to approve? Go ahead.
No. Not on the motion to approve.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now we are on manual checks.
There are no manual checks.
No manual checks. November ACH. Let's see. I got my ACHs in here somewhere.
Could I make a motion to approve the ACH transactions
Yep.
in the amount of $98,453.29?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussions on the ACHs? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financials, that's for your information. We have motions on it.
And board, Mr. President, I just wanted to let the board know, I mean, right now it's a little bit nuts, but if you ever want to stop in and talk about those things, you're always more than welcome. Because sometimes financials can be a little bit hairy. Right, Lorraine?
Okay, village board minutes. We've got December 3, which is our regular meeting.
Yes. Make a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2020 village board meeting minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Discussion. My only comment is on 6F. I think it's worded as the motion was made. I just wanted to make sure we did revise Exhibit A. We did make revisions to the budget that was published and on Exhibit A, and I know that's what we
And it is
adopted and
posted.
fine, and it is
Posted
posted.
according as the, and we did talk about eventually changing the worksheet. There's some things we have to revisit, but that's just a worksheet. But the budget was adopted as the village board requested.
Right. Do you think it'd be a good idea just to add a note that it's been, under that resolution, clerk's note that it's posted or something like that?
It's required by statute.
Statute, okay.
And it is posted, at Citizens Bank. It's posted more places than it even has to be posted.
Okay, well, that's okay.
And in fact, what I'll do is actually attach it to the minutes.
There we go.
Oh.
That would be good, because then it'd be
Clear.
clear on the minutes, and then it'd be on the website, so you
Right.
can see that we adopted it, even though it's been posted everywhere. Because I know it's different than what the public saw. And that was, my only point is, there were changes from the public
Right,
notice.
it was a balanced budget.
Okay, so we'll attach the resolution to these minutes. Any further discussion?
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna say was, just like tonight, we had some of the DPW members presented a letter,
Mhm.
and
Darlene?
Darlene presented. That'll automatically be attached to the minutes, won't it?
Yes, when it's for the record, yes.
Yes. Okay.
So help me, just to clarify that, will that mean on the minutes that we get a copy of, they'll be attached to them?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I've not seen that. Thank you, Jim.
And obviously, they're available if you want to look at them ahead of time.
Oh, I agree. No, that's
Still
easy.
have them, so. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we're looking at December 10.
Make a motion to approve the proceedings of the Board of Trustees and Planning Commission meeting on Thursday, December 10th at 1 p.m.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
This was our training session, so.
Right.
it'll be like, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, I'll read them. Village Board, January 7 and January 21, 7 p.m. Village Board and Plan Commission joint, January 13, which is Wednesday, 7 p.m. Public hearing for conditional use request is part of that joint Plan and Board Commission. We do have a village staff meeting, January 28th, 1 o'clock. Get your items in for that agenda as well,
Mhm.
to talk about staff. And
Can I make a
That's it.
motion? Can I make a motion to adjourn?
is there a second?
No.
You don't wanna
somebody else.
adjourn. You better say
All in favor?
why you
Tom?
don't want to
Mr.
get
President?
adjourned pretty quick here during discussion.
No, I have a question for John, that's all.
Well,
What's that flashing light out there?
I think the power went out last weekend, because I know my security cameras were out, and I had to reset the thing on there, and I think it messed up the sensors on those lights. So I was gonna call the electrician today, and I forgot about it, so I got here tonight again, so I'll call him tomorrow.
Drives my wife nuts.
I know, I thought about you when I saw it flashing, like, came in yesterday morning. But,
All right.
Yeah, I think the sensors got burnt out or something shorted out.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. 9:30. Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. Look at the planets next week, Tuesday, or even earlier before.
Oh, okay.